Go with God.
God's gonna sit this one out.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 realistic superhero movies.
Does it not bug you? Why thousands of people want to be Paris Hilton and nobody wants to be Spider-Man?
For this list, we'll be looking at superhero films which are grounded in the realistic rather than the fantastical. Some elements may be far-fetched, but overall, as long as there's no superpowers or aliens in the narrative, they will be considered. Movies within universes where magical/fantastical elements exist will be considered as long as there's none within the film's individual narrative. Which of these films did you find the most original? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, Defendor. If you ever wanted to see Woody Harrelson as a superhero, then Defendor is your movie. The legendary actor plays Arthur Poppington, a loner suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome who prowls the streets as a vigilante.
When you break the law, you're a punk. When you break the law with a badge, you're a punk with a badge. I don't strike officers, punks. Different story.
He is the Defendor, and he befriends a sex worker named Angel. She remains his primary motivation throughout the film as he desperately wishes to save her from a corrupt cop.
Forget it, I'm not helping you.
Listen, young lady.
Oh, don't young lady me, buddy. I'm not telling you shit. You're a joke.
I'm not a joke!
He also hopes to find a mysterious man known only as Captain Industry, who is allegedly responsible for his mother's death. It's a bizarre film steeped in darkness, and its protagonist is a fascinating character.
Did I get that wrong?
No, there's no right or wrong here.
Well, if there's no right or wrong here, how come I have to stay here?
Where would you rather be?
Out there, fighting crime.
Defendor realistically explores what would happen if people took to vigilantism. Number 9, the Green Hornet. In many ways, the Green Hornet is like Batman. They don't really have superpowers, just a lot of high-tech gadgets and a desire to do good. Seth Rogen plays Britt Reed, a newspaper publisher who teams up with a martial arts expert to fight crime.
Let me show you how it's done, Kato! Hornet! Seth! Hello!
They become vigilantes and aim to stop a Russian gangster from creating a so-called super mafia in Los Angeles. There's nothing very outlandish or fantastical here.
I met with the Armenians earlier today. They told me if the Hornet is independent, they want to be independent too.
The Armenians truly said that?
And I heard rumors the Koreans are talking the same.
The gadgets are extremely high-tech, like a car that can drive after being sheared in half, but within the realm of possibility. Furthermore, Britt and Kato have no superpowers to speak of, and they are taking down a local gangster, not a world-ending threat.
Gentlemen, the reign of Bludnovsky starts tonight.
The movie's lighthearted, tongue-in-cheek tone certainly helps. Number 8, Noise. This is essentially the superhero version of Falling Down. It shares a similar premise, and the two protagonists share the same type of views on the modern world. Tim Robbins stars as David Owen, a lawyer who becomes fed up with the constant noise of life.
Hey, what are you doing? That's my car!
Why don't you turn off the alarm?
It'll stop in a minute.
Yes, literal noise. Car alarms, beepers, birds, and the general goings-on of the city all get to him. To stop the cacophony of life, Owen becomes the rectifier and resorts to acts of extreme vandalism.
This self-styled rectifier is nothing but a two-bit vigilante.
It's certainly a different kind of superhero, one without powers and one whose aim and methods are questionable. Still, it's a really fun concept, and viewers can't help but relate to Owen. Sometimes the noise is just too much.
You start to realize that we're dealing with a lot of encroachments on our peace of mind, and we're dealing with it simply by accepting it.
Number 7, Iron Man. While it takes place within the MCU, Iron Man is easily the most realistic of the bunch. Of course, some suspension of disbelief is required.
For your consideration, the Jericho.
There's just no way that the Iron Man suit could exist today. But high-tech gizmos aside, the movie is surprisingly grounded in realism. Tony Stark isn't a quote-unquote superhero, but a weapons manufacturer who manages to build a kick-ass mech suit. There are also no fantastical elements to speak of. The great threat isn't some alien, but terrorists and another weapons manufacturer. Along the way, they fight with mech suits, rockets, and guns, not unearthly superpowers. It's quite ironic that one of the more grounded superhero movies gave rise to the MCU. Number 6, Super. This film from James Gunn is very similar to Defendor. only featuring a far more anti-heroic protagonist. Rainn Wilson plays a chef named Frank Darbo, who becomes depressed after his wife leaves him for a strip club owner. He then experiences a spiritual vision and becomes the Crimson Bolt, believing that God wants him to fight crime.
Shut up, crime. Here's the Crimson Bolt. Crime.
Without any superpowers whatsoever, he arms himself with a pipe wrench and begins doling out justice to anyone he thinks deserves it, even if the crime in question is more of an annoying hindrance. Super is the anti-superhero movie, one which explores the repercussions of a seriously unhinged man attempting to dole out his own warped sense of justice.
Maybe they deserve to get whacked.
Deserve it?
Yeah, I heard that the people he's hitting, they're the real criminals.
Number 5. Special. Many similar films were released around this time, all focusing on a normal guy with a skewed vision of his own importance and abilities.
The most important part of a costume is what goes on the back of it, because it's not just the hero's name, it's their message to the public. I want my costume to tell people that they shouldn't give up.
In this movie, Michael Rapaport plays Les Franken, a comic book aficionado who starts believing that he has superpowers after taking a new antidepressant.
Are you hurt?
No, I never felt better. Why?
Well,
Hey, has this happened to anyone else?
no, I've never seen anything quite like it before.
He views himself as a telepathic crime fighter while the police view him as a loopy and violent man. The movie's fun twist is further explored through its filmmaking. For most of the movie, viewers are only given Les's surreal point of view and prohibited from seeing the reality. Les isn't really special, just hopped up on some hallucinatory drugs, but therein lies all the fun. Number 4. Boy Wonder. The titular Boy Wonder is Sean Donovan, an antisocial loner who is traumatized by the death of his mother at the hands of a carjacker.
I really don't want to talk about it, Billy.
No problem.
Having grown up hating criminals, Sean starts taking crime into his own hands and begins working as a vigilante. He kills the likes of muggers and pimps, but his delusions eventually get the better of him and he ends up killing innocent people.
You didn't save her. You made it worse.
This is the ultimate anti-superhero movie. Boy Wonder is not only about the dangers of vigilantism, but it presents a pseudo-heroic protagonist who does far more societal harm than good.
Somebody made the decision to end her life. Piece of shit walks around every day, going through it like it never happened.
It's a wonderful subversion of the superhero genre, portraying vigilantism as the harmful and unfulfilling endeavor that it is. Number 3. The Punisher. This superhero has always been one of Marvel's more unique creations. Frank Castle is a very damaged man. To get back at Castle for the death of his son, Howard Saint has his entire family slaughtered. And not just his immediate wife and children.
Big crowd tonight, Mr. Saint. You look beautiful, Mrs. Saint.
Little prick.
No, his entire family. This in turn kickstarts a whole cycle of revenge, as Castle looks to get back at Saint for getting back at him. Armed with nothing but his military-grade hardware and desire for revenge, Castle becomes the Punisher and starts punishing.
I used to get upset when I had a flat tire. I used to get upset when a plane was delayed. I used to get upset when the Yankees won the series. So if that's what upset means, then how do I feel now?
The movie is a grounded action drama, utilizing everyday weapons over fantasy or science fiction elements. The violence is also depicted in a realistic and very bloody manner. Despite the Marvel banner, this one isn't for the kids. Number 2. Kick-Ass. This is another vigilante film about everyday people trying to make a difference. The titular Kick-Ass is young Dave Lazuski, a comic book fan who dons a homemade outfit and a pair of batons.
Come on, bring it on!
He teams up with a deranged former cop dressed as a Batman-type hero and his young daughter who he has trained to be a ruthless killer. Together they conspire to take down not a world-ending threat, but a local mob boss.
Who? Kick-Ass? One guy? Hold on, you're telling me one guy killed 8 of my men tonight?
This movie is very much rooted in the real world, depicting its protagonists not as valiant heroes but as unhinged individuals. It's also incredibly violent and doesn't shy away from the physical destruction and pain that superheroes are likely to inflict.
It's a shame. You have potential.
Your call, but you know we're around if you need us.
How do I get a hold of you?
You just contact the mayor's office. He has a special signal that shines in the sky. It's in the shape of a giant cock.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Batman. Bruce Wayne has always been one of the more realistic superheroes.
I don't care about that. Any of that.
You don't care about your family's legacy?
What I'm doing is my family's legacy.
Like the Green Hornet and Iron Man, he doesn't require fantastical superpowers to fight crime, just a lot of fancy gadgetry. While The Dark Knight took the superhero genre seriously with a grounded story and mature themes, the Batman is arguably even more realistic. In essence, this isn't even a superhero movie. It's more like a film noir or old-fashioned detective story with superhero elements.
What are we looking for?
USB port.
USB. What?
And even then, the superhero elements are very light. Even the villains are depicted without any heightened flair, with Penguin and the Riddler shedding their old comic booky costumes in favor of a more true-to-life look.
Take it easy, sweetheart. You looking for me? See you met the twins. Boy, I hear everything they say, ain't you?
This is an excellent superhero movie for people who don't like superhero movies.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.